Hello everyone, welcome back to Drop Frames. I think it's like 113 or something. I don't know. Counting Drop Frames games, or DFG as Zeke calls it appropriately. I like that much better, by the way, so we're just going to keep saying that, Zeke.
DFG?
I don't know what show number this is. I think it's like mid-teens, one teens.
Pretty sure this is episode 331.
331. All right, welcome. It is the year 2020. Twitch hasn't changed much. They've tried to introduce a bunch of different things. None of them actually stuck, though, so we're still on the same exact page here on Twitch, and bitrate hasn't raised at all. In fact, it's actually gone down somehow.
And we haven't lost or gained any weight.
Yeah. Yep. Haven't aged.
My kid is still 5 months old. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. We built a time machine is actually what happened, guys. But don't tell anyone. Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
It's gonna be on Kickstarter soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, the time exactly.
Kickstarter time machine.
Yeah, DFG time machine. That's the name of it. That's it.
Yep. Do you want to go in the future and have nothing change?
Here we go.
Jesus. We're gonna talk about games today. There's not much, at least from my point of view, to talk about. I know Dark Light came out. I'm interested to hear how that's not like Ark, because to me it looks like Ark and plays like Ark and smells like Ark. Must be Ark.
Do you want to hold on? Do you want you want someone to say it's not like Ark?
Yeah, because I see that game and I just think it's Ark, but with a different narrative.
Then
I also heard that really tilts Bike Man. Apparently, when he was streaming it, everyone was saying, "Is this Ark?" and it was tilting him or something. I don't know. Someone's like, "Don't let Bike hear that." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh, okay.
We got Citadel, which is another game that came out. I actually played Lawbreakers. I forgot I played that, so we could talk about that. And then Zeke's probably played some indie games of some type.
I have, in fact. There's a few in there that are pretty juicy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Someone mentioned that your indie games would be good, so I'm curious to see why. Before we get to all that, though, Zeke, why don't you talk about what you were doing last week's? Because it's kind of something that Twitch has never done before, and I'm interested to hear how it went from your perspective.
Sure. Where I was last week was a hosting workshop where basically Twitch, and basically, don't use that word. That's one of the things that we were going over.
Oh.
One of the tips is try not to use the same words over and over again. It's just one of those little nuggets that you get that we imparted upon like the people who wanted to do this. Like the words like. Basically, grab all those, like, be aware of the words that you use over and over again, and try to put that word in the middle of a piece of paper, and then draw lines of synonyms to that word, words you can use in place of that particular word. So if you find yourself saying, "That's amazing," "Everything's amazing," "Oh God, it's so amazing," stuff like that. But what we did was broke down like the parts of hosting. And tried to.
I don't know. His head was cut off, so I'm adjusting on the fly. And
I'm going rogue, apparently, and I don't even mean to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all Co's fault. That wasn't my fault. Co, stop messing around with things. I mean, all right. We'll adjust it. You'll just be a little bit tinier than everyone. It'll be okay. There you go. Oh God, now there's space below. Okay, continue, Zeke.
Well, they took a bunch of us who had been doing it a while. Me, Kelly Link, and Rachel Quirko, Seltzer, please, and DJ Wheaton and Prosser Robinson, of course. And they brought a lot of us to San Francisco, and we did like a day-long workshop thing where it was in the morning. It was an hour talking about just hosting in general, and then it was talking about the art of the interview, and then we talked a little bit about shoutcasting and that kind of thing. And my particular part, that my focus was, I taught an improv class. I grabbed all the hosts and taught them or told them why improv was super important to me and what it has done to help every single like aspect of my life on Twitch, dealing with other people, being a host, all this kind of stuff. And we just played some fun games, and I try to display the importance of these games and why they are good exercises to use and so on and so forth. And this is Anna teaching class here.
This is not supposed to be comical in any way, but when I first
Yeah.
saw, I kind of wanted to laugh. I understand what they're doing here, but it's just I get
Zeke,
it.
I have a question here. Were they teaching you how to host, or were they teaching you how to stream?
Host.
But I mean, everything you've said so far sounds like it would be the same for a streamer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they're pretty similar, I would think.
They bleed into each other. There was also a talk about, but there's also a section of the day talking about how to get into the business, how to approach people about like, hey, I would love to promote your product, be a host, like how to be a host for other companies and that kind of thing, and for Twitch, how to get hired, basically.
So did they at all talk to you about like the overall thinking of this course? Are they looking to get more people from the community to host their events? Are they looking to help people place in different companies? Like what was the perspective of the course?
I wouldn't be the best person to ask about that, but I would imagine like my view of it was to train within Twitch people who they can use or that come from Twitch so they can branch out and do other things possibly for Twitch. Like because my understanding is Twitch is branching out into all kinds of different stuff. Like 3 years ago, they didn't have a presence at any Comic-Con. Now they have a presence at almost all the big ones. Like I've been to Emerald City, New York, C2E2, San Diego 3 times. Like all these other Comic-Cons that they're branching out even more into more and different things. So my guess is that they're going to need more people to do these things for us. And I think that's what this program was kind of about. But yeah, if you want like the actual synopsis of why the hosting workshop is, I think Weed or Anna would be the better people to talk to about that. I was just there as in a more I even hesitate to say mentoring, teaching capacity, but that's kind of what it was. Like they ask me questions and I'll give you answers based on my own experience.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, like looking at this slide in particular, like this is excellent advice for starting
good.
streamers. Like, yeah, this is available online somewhere?
Yeah, this is on twitch.tv/Twitch in their VOD section from like last week or something like that. Was it only one day, Zeke, that was streamed, or was all of it streamed?
No, it was all streamed except for the last half of the. I think it was streamed from 10 to 3, and then from 3 to 6 was our each individual workshops where we worked with individually or not individually worked with the attendees face to face, like in a classroom kind of setting. And we didn't we requested that part didn't be. We requested that part not be streamed because we didn't want that holding anybody back. We wanted it to be an open kind of let go. Like, don't worry about the camera. There's no cameras are on. We're not streaming. So you can feel free to like ask questions that you might think are stupid or act in a goofy manner that you might be embarrassed by.
That makes sense. How many people were flown out there? Not in terms of like the teachers, but the people in the quote audience. Do you know?
I want to say there was like 20.
Okay. Cool.
20-ish. Wow. Yeah.
Cool. I think it's a smart, kind of what Ko was saying. You can apply this to like stream stuff. All of this probably streaming. I mean, hosting and streaming is pretty much the same thing for most part. You're not going to be doing much interviewing, obviously, when you're streaming stuff. But
this is the kind of thing where it's like if you make a new account on Twitch and you select the checkbox that says I'm interested in being a streamer, not a viewer, you should get linked to this.
Yeah.
Like that. This could be the beginning of an actual archive of like Twitch sanctioned how to stream and good advice and stuff like that. I mean, that could raise the quality level of hundreds to thousands of streams if they played their cards properly with content like that.
Zeke,
this is a great section. Now, this is Adam.
Who let this idiot talk?
Adam
Right?
Kotzinish-McGee, who is the production manager of Twitch, and he grabbed stock slides for his presentation, like for his PowerPoint. He just grabbed whatever was stock, and it was all pasta stuff, like an Olive Garden menu. But it was all, he just said, I just grabbed whatever. And but he went through like the technical stuff, vocabulary, what things are lav mic, IFB.
I like what
headset.
IFB stands for. Enter something, fumthing, bumpthing.
He actually says what it actually stands for in like on the mic, but
Yeah.
he put it up there because no one says the whole name.
Totally.
Everybody only says IFB. And I don't even remember what it is. I know what an IFB is, but I don't know what it stands for. I still don't.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have to. If you know IFB, they know what that is. But yeah, there was a lot of technical stuff, a lot of working with like the producer, the camera, the technical director, people who you need to what their jobs are and what they get to tell you to do and what you get to tell them. One of Shmigegi's parts, or one of Adam's sections was your rights. I love this. Your rights as a host. You have a right to dinner and lunch. You have a right to green room, water, being respected, like that kind of stuff. You have a right to ask for these things. And I was like, oh, no one told me that when I started.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, I didn't get lunch. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, they're like, you didn't get lunch? Fucking ask for lunch.
Right. When you start off, you're just there like trying not to fuck it up. You're not trying to worry about yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of times the excitement can overwhelm all those other requirements. So and you start making those kind of personal gives where you're like, well, I'd like to have this, but I'm so happy to be here that I don't care about it this time. You know,
especially the money.
Slippery slope.
Especially the money don't work for nothing right there. That's good. That should have been like bolded and fucking pointed to and everything.
No, we definitely talked about that like for a good while about you deserve to be paid, not in just recognition. Recognition is not payment.
Right.
And the craziest part about that money for nothing thing, a lot of people, especially smaller like casters on Twitch, will make the argument, well, hey, I'm starting out, I really need the PR, et cetera, et cetera. That type of stuff is never, at least for me, and I tried it a bunch of times, and I've looked at a bunch and haven't seen it. It's almost never good for smaller streamers. Funny enough, it's the opposite. It's like the only time that you really like the idea of doing something for publicity is really big is if you're at the other end, if you're big and somebody huge is talking to you. At that point, then it may be okay to pass money for publicity. But on the lower end, when you're starting, like, I tried it, man. I tried a lot of different times. And I didn't get paid for some of the stuff. A mistake that I made was that I didn't ask for payment or get paid for smaller things because I thought the publicity would help my channel.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, if someone is coming to you and saying, hey, we're going to pay you in exposure, and they can't afford to pay you in money, how much exposure do you think they're going to give you?
Yep.
If they can't afford to pay you in money, that means they're probably not going to get your name out as well as you think they are.
Right. Exactly.
That's absolutely right.
But yeah, I just and it was a lot of that, it was a lot of information, a lot of very helpful information. Really, I mean, when you do something like this, when you do like a workshop like this for the very first time, you do have to go over. Yeah, I feel that we did a good job, but you have to go over the basics. And a lot of it, probably to a lot of the attendees and me, seemed elementary, but there are certain elementary aspects that I didn't even know when I went there. So by covering as much of the elementary aspects as you can, there will be times when you go, oh shit, that was something so obvious that didn't even occur to me. So if you watch it, there's going to be a lot of basic shit in there, just to let you know if you watch the VOD. But I bet you there's going to be stuff you go, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought I didn't realize that they went the way they went because I didn't watch it. So I'm that's cool. What was the reception like from everyone that was there in terms of like learning? Was anyone? No one's obviously gonna be like, this is fucking horseshit, but were they receptive to it?
I found almost to a person that everybody was really open and really receptive. They had to actually try to get there. There was an audition process. They had to produce a reel of sorts, an audition tape, if you will, to actually be a part of this.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So everybody that was there had previously tried to be there, had auditioned to be there. So it was really cool to have a class, because I've taught before. I've taught 1st through 12th grade improv and acting classes way like years ago, and a lot of times those classes were full of people who didn't want to fucking be there because their parents were like, acting camp. Yeah. Here you go. Shove you off for 2 weeks. And a lot of them didn't want to be there. This one was a lot different because everybody wanted to be there. So it was really, really fun to teach some improv skills and games and stuff like that to people who were really wanting to learn this stuff.
Cool. If you do want to watch the VOD, I linked it here in Twitch chat if you're watching on Twitch. But if you're watching on YouTube, just head over to twitch.tv/Twitch. Then it'll be the Twitch Studios hosting an interview workshop. It's about a 5-hour and 48-minute VOD. So there's a lot to watch. So you can watch it in chunks. But Zeke's there. Zeke shows up like halfway through. And I think he's there for the rest of it. It's good.
I'm peppered in there.
Cool. You were out there for what, 3 days, 2 days?
Yeah, it was just I fly in, workshop the next day, fly out the next day.
Cool.
Yep. In and out.
Was there any other news out of Twitch before we move on? Oh, that's right. They put up this. They're calling it. Do they have a proper name for this? Basically, they launched their store. Twitch.tv/store/games is now live. And they've got a smattering of indie titles for the most part. Darkest Dungeon, Warframe, Smite. I think most of these games, if you stream them and you're partnered, I think it'll automatically show up below your video player that you can buy it on that stream and benefit. But they got a proper page.
Yeah, I'm kind of really, really hoping they make that optional in the future.
Yeah, it does kind of put onus on the streamer to talk about that when we really have no idea about it.
Not only that, there was a major issue with Darkest Dungeon. When
oh,
it
that's
came
right.
out. Now, to their credit, and I'm actually, it has to be said, like once the right people at Twitch found out what was going on, it was fixed within hours. But it took almost 24 hours for the message to get to the right people. But for those that don't know, like there was a period of time when the Darkest Dungeon DLC came out. So Darkest Dungeon was back on Twitch. If you saw it on someone's Twitch purchase link, if you bought it through there for $25, first of all, it was cheaper on Steam significantly.
Yep.
And that's
Way
because there was a
cheaper.
Steam sale.
Yeah.
But here's where the whole wrench goes into the gear. When you bought it on Twitch initially, because you were watching it for the DLC, because Twitch didn't do it through Steam, initially they couldn't even get you the DLC. So you would be able to buy the game, but then you could not get the DLC for it, which is what you were watching at the time.
Yeah.
So it became this, like, I started getting messages in my chat of people going, I'm trying to support you. What are you doing? And I'm like, like, I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
You know, like, this is ridiculous. And then I find more out about it from the back end. And there was all this confusion. Like, I'm just going to say this. It wasn't totally Twitch's fault what was going on, because they were playing the middleman. They had two different people telling them stuff, and they kind of had to do what they were both saying, because, you know, they're not going to tell the devs no. They're not going to tell the people they're sending the game to no. So, but here, again, it was a really messy situation, and I really wish I could have just taken it off at that point, and I couldn't. But again, like, once I like, there were a few people at Twitch, and once they found out what was going on, like, literally hours, everything was fixed. The price got dropped. You could get the DLC through Twitch. Like, that was really positive about the whole situation. But at the same time, if that does happen again, being able to quickly on my dashboard disable that, like, hey, we'll figure this out when I have more info for you. You know, like, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, here's one thing of feedback I'll give. Instead of video and screenshots, why don't you have thumbnails of the streams currently streaming the game? Or maybe no one's streaming Love. Let me find a game that might have people streaming it. Let's go to
H1Z1. I think you can buy H1Z1 through there.
Can you?
I think.
I don't. It's not on there. Rainbow
Dungeon?
Six. Someone's going to be playing Rainbow
There we
Six.
go, for sure.
And nope, videos and screenshots. Man, that kind of sucks.
That would have been a prime opportunity to put some streams on there.
I mean, you can follow the stream at the top, and you can click live channels, and it goes to that. So that's kind of cool.
There we go. Okay, that's cool. That's probably good enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Where is this, by the way? You're at store.twitch.tv?
Twitch.tv/ Hold on, let me just back and try to find it. Oh god, one sec. I don't want to show my entire. Twitch.tv/store/games with an S. And then they have that whole crate stuff, which I still don't fucking understand. I still don't know what's in a crate or why people would want. Emotes and badges in Twitch crates range from common to very rare. I feel like they should preview what is considered a rare emote.
I have to say, I am still baffled that you cannot directly purchase Twitch crates.
Oh yeah, just for a flat price. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, especially with the direction of Twitch over the.
Do
over
you
the
hear
last
that?
year.
Baffled.
I'm baffled. I'm baffled.
Say it again.
I want to give Twitch money for Twitch crates. I can't.
Say it again.
Baffled.
Baffled.
Oh God, I love it.
I wonder.
Discombobulated.
That's even better. No, someone had actually a good question, and that I want the answer to. If you guys know the answer, I don't know if you do, but Lethoric said, if you buy on Twitch, do you think you can play with people through Steam servers, like Dead by Daylight, Deceit, Friday the 13th, or is Twitch going to have its own server support for these types of multiplayer games?
I would bet they don't. I would bet it goes to Steam.
No, they would never take on server hosting themselves for these games.
Right.
Absolutely not. So, but that's a really, really good question. I would assume for some of these, like they have Rift for sale and Arcade, so obviously that would just connect you there. But like being able to play with your friends easily and join their games and stuff, that's a really good question.
So someone just said, I got these in crates, just bought to see what was in them, and it looks like a Jackbox party box, Jackhead.
Yep.
Knots, is that Psychonauts Raz?
Yep,
so it looks like,
Psychonauts.
okay, what is CT Cool? I don't know what that is. So
No idea what CT Cool is. HB Bullet might be Gungeon?
Okay. So it's game-centric emotes.
Yeah, it looks like it. And there's also developer-centric emotes and stuff as well. I think basically what they're doing is all the games they have on the store, at least some of them, there are then related products you can get in the crates. Like there's a regular in my chat that actually has a chat badge, not an emote, but a badge.
Yeah.
Of Firewatch.
Firewatch.
So like I'm
I've seen
pretty
that.
sure that they're all kind of Yeah. Oh, HB is Heavy Bullets? I don't even know what that is. Is that a game?
Yeah, I guess it's an indie game or something. 2-item emotes, but you can get an emote twice, sadly. You can get a emote twice? Wow. I mean, I guess normal
Ooh.
crates have that, but that...
What happens if you get something twice? You get to sell it or turn it back? Well, I guess. What would you do with it?
do they have, like... I wonder if it gets turned into bits. I wonder what that... That's weird.
Oh, see, now going back to your original question, you can apparently get For Honor through this system.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah,
considering
yeah.
all the matchmaking for Honor or for Honor is taking place through Uplay, do they just give you a Uplay key?
Yeah, Ubisoft seems to be the only AAA developer on this list of all the games. They've got Rainbow Six, Division, Wildlands all on there. And then, like you said, For Honor. But I don't know. What happens if we click on this?
It does. Like I'm looking over the page, it doesn't clearly say what you get for the purchase. Barry says, "Yeah, it's Uplay." Oh, I know it's Uplay, Barry. I'm just wondering, like, do they give you a Uplay key or do they like unlock it in your account? I'm kind of curious how it works because I know that they, for Darkest Dungeon, for instance, they did not give you a Twitch or they did not give you a Steam key. There was a different system. You link your Twitch account to Ubi. Oh, wow. Okay, so they're doing some weird custom stuff. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this is the worst thing. I think it's an odd thing when you look at Steam and just think, well, why wouldn't I just buy this on Steam? I guess the only reason would be that maybe you want to support a broadcaster that plays this game or something like that.
I was kind of hoping it would be like the KISS principle, just keeping it simple. I was really hoping that it would just be like you can buy this game, you can be relatively certain it's the cheapest price, and you'll just get a key for your chosen platform. Like, like super easy, lots of freedom and stuff like that. But it seems a bit weird if people have to kind of jump through hoops to support us.
Oh.
Because at that point, we become that weird kind of salesman where it's like, we're worth the extra effort when you could do it a lot easier somewhere else.
Well, when that whole Darkest Dungeon debacle was happening, people came in and they said, "Yeah, it shows down here," and I went and looked it up on Steam. I went, "Don't buy that here. Absolutely not. You go to Steam, and get it half price."
Right.
Oh, dude, we had to have like a 30-minute discussion, and I looked like such an idiot. I'm sitting there asking people. In fact, at first I was just like, "Oh, you probably get a Steam key," and then they were like, "No, you don't get a Steam key." I was like, "Well, then how do you do it?" They're like, oh, there's this thing you have to download it through. I'm like, well, how do you get the DLC? Oh, we don't know. We're trying to figure that out. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm literally sitting there asking my chat what the button in my profile does. Yeah. That was a day.
Trilogy Soldier in chat tagged us and said, Twitch is making a t-shirt store, it seems, if you go to store.twitch.tv.
I think, yeah, that is true, but I think that's more about the fact that they're breaking up their partnership with Teespring. So I don't know what their plan is. They've got a lot of t-shirt people they work with, and they've got a lot of people they work with for merchandising for TwitchCon and stuff like that. So maybe they're doing something with them.
Maybe.
But I think where did that used to go before? I think it was a Teespring thing, wasn't it?
I would think so.
Yeah.
On the site it
now
says
that's broken.
Yeah, it says we're currently building something cool over here. It'll be ready in the next few months. We're no longer working with Teespring, but you can still get your favorite streamers, non-Twitch branded merch directly on sites like Teespring, designed by humans, and TeePublic. We also have a new game store. Blah blah blah. Go look at the game store, and then it links to that. I didn't realize they had so many public
picture,
links.
by the way, that picture that shows on that shirt site is a complete lie. There are no Twitch shoes as far as I'm aware.
Ooh, but what if there
I
are?
want Twitch shoes.
Can't you just
I
buy
want someone
purple
who's
shoes?
clearly not been keeping up with fresh stock.
Bright ass purple Twitch shoes.
Yeah, why that's true. Why isn't Fresh Stock like making their own purple Twitch shoes?
What if that was the
Right?
entire plan from the beginning? What if they're in the process? This is like stage A of drumming up support for shoes on Twitch, and then it's going to be like the 1 year episode. They drop the bomb, man.
Maybe so.
High tops, classic Converse style, skater style, Vans, like just the whole Twitch suite is coming out.
Someone also
Crazy.
says new site go.twitch.tv is in beta as well. It apparently loads streams faster. What? What is go.twitch? Oh. It's a beta page. Why would they have all these like public if they I don't know. It's just a different front page.
If you click on beta in the top left, it takes you to like some kind of feedback post thing.
Huh.
Post a new idea. This shouldn't be public without an explanation.
Well, I can't. Can I go
What
back?
is this? This actually looks really cool. Wait a second. Dude, they're like voting on. What is this?
Mine just looks normal.
Twitch.uservoice.com?
Does
No,
yours
click
look,
on the beta.
Yeah, click on the beta in the very top left of go.twitch.tv. It takes you to like a user voice page where you can enter and vote on ideas and feedback and stuff.
Oh, interesting. Probably shouldn't be showing this, but whatever. It's a public link.
It's public. It doesn't matter. It's public.
I'm not sure they wanted someone with 5K viewers show this, but yeah, that's a thing that apparently exists. Oh, there's a help article on it. All right, let's open this help article. See if this has anything on it.
Ooh, 613 votes. Enable bits to be used to purchase subscriptions on channels. Yes.
That's a good one.
How long have we been saying that? It's been saying
I know,
that for a while
forever.
now.
It's no secret. So this is explaining the Twitch software rewrite beta rollout. That's a mouthful. Twitch is growing. What changes? Front page. Following director includes overview channel, games directory, live channel page. How do I access? Huh. Okay. I don't know. I guess they're pushing out a whole new thing then soon. And it's in beta. Cool.
Hell yeah, man.
I think that was kind of it from all things Twitch. They did some stuff with Lawbreakers with Twitch Prime, which I guess we could segue in. Did any of you play Lawbreakers recently? I played it last week.
No, I played the early beta like a year ago.
Yeah.
That was when I came and visited you, Co. When I did drop from your place.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, that's
that was
right.
fun.
I remember that. Yeah, that game.
That was my old house. You got to come again. Check out the new place.
That was your old house. That game's a game. I don't know. It was like I didn't have a bad time. I didn't. It wasn't a For Honor experience for me.
I just love that. Like, I just want that to be the soundbite on the box art. Like, Lawbreakers, you won't have a bad time.
I mean, it just
Breakers. You can play it.
to put it differently, it didn't grab me. Right? Like I was into it when we were playing, but I didn't end the stream thinking like, man, I'm gonna go and check that out more. It was kind of like, all right, I had fun playing the game in a semi-cooperative manner. against another team that seemed to be a stack of 5 as well, and that was cool. And it was fast. It was a lot. It was maybe a little bit too fast. When I first started out, I was kind of fucking confused as to what was going on.
And that's coming from a Quake player. Holy shit.
Yeah, but it was very quickly. You got to like understand things. Assassins in that game, the melee are just motherfuckers, man. They can like 3 and 4 shot. I just kept getting destroyed by them over and over. That was frustrating. This is when I was playing a healer, which is weird. They have like a straight up healer person that you just heal with E. And then it's got like a grenade launcher that does decent damage. Then the zero grav stuff is also really it adds so much to that game that you're almost overwhelmed by the sense of movement when you jump into something like that, because you're not just like walking around on a normal shooter platform like Counter-Strike or anything like that. You can just fucking fly at like crazy fucking speeds.
So JP, someone just said something in chat that I have to say makes me super concerned about this, because if there's anything this game needs to do, it's stand out for being awesome.
Exactly.
However, there's a few key things it could do to completely shoot itself in the foot, and I'm looking right here at somebody who is saying, yeah, it's almost impossible to play because the cheating is rampant.
Really? We didn't
run into any of that?
No, we didn't run into any cheating when we were playing.
Because, dude, the last thing this game needs is to have, like, a hacking community.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything of that.
Anyone else confirm that's played?
I don't know. I like going Emperor Palpatine like this, by the way.
Even
That
in
was fun.
beta, there were already cheaters, says Nurar.
Damn.
Oh, man.
How are they cheating?
I don't know. I think they're using, this is through Nexon, so Nexon probably has some sort of anti-cheat, I would think, with it.
You'd think so. Yeah.
But I'm not too sure.
But no, this game, man, I have to admit, like, I played this game actually with you, JP, a long time ago at cons and stuff.
Yeah.
And it seemed pretty cool. And then, like, it's kind of interesting because every time we talk about games like Lawbreaker, I feel like we kind of just rehash the same conversation we've been having for about the last year and a half now, where it's like, this had only been a few months earlier and beaten the head of the punch, but it didn't. So now it's like all the same in the other ones. And I hate to say it, but like I a lot of people have recently done Lawbreaker sponsored streams. I was pinged on that, obviously. And before I said anything, I watched a few streams. I watched a few sponsored streams. I watched a few people that had said positive things about it and then were then being sponsored to play it. And I have to admit, man, I feel like most of the people that finish their sponsored streams, they could have said exactly what you said to lead this segment. Well, that was a game. Like, I don't think I saw 3 or 4 different streamers end, because it's really interesting, by the way. This is a little tip for you. If you really want to know how someone feels about a sponsored stream, watch the end of it.
Right.
Watch how they finish it, because that will tell you, like, if they're like, oh man, whew, that was a thing. I don't know if I'll play that again. Blah 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 blah. That's when you know it's like, okay, well, he didn't really enjoy it. But it's the people that are kind of hyped about it, or they keep playing past their sponsored time, which of all the streamers I didn't see. It's one of those things again where it's like, it's a cool idea. It's a collection of some really interesting ideas and a couple new mechanics to the genre, but there's still like 5 of these out right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, at this point, it's just like, what are my friends playing?
They're playing PUBG.
It doesn't even matter.
Well,
and most people, actually, a lot of people these days are playing Gigantic because it's free.
That's true.
And it's like, cool, go play Gigantic. But it's I gotta say, man, I actually ended up turning down the sponsored thing because there wasn't anything I saw in it that made me go, I'm going to finish my sponsored event and want to play more of it. It looks fun, and I could probably get away with this. We could probably do a DFG in Lawbreakers, and it'd probably be enjoyable.
Yeah.
But it's just not the one, It's not the one that people are going to, at least for me. It wasn't the one where it's like there's going to be hours and hours and hours invested in this game.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily funny. It was just, I guess the word, we'll just say interesting because that's a nice filler word that means nothing. It was interesting to see on Friday when the open beta, the beta started before launch, because I think this launches on the 8th. They had like, I think it was me, there was like 20 plus sponsored streams. It was like me, King Cathalion, Professor Broman, Lyric, Siegel, and we were all playing together in a group. But apart from that, there was a lot of other streamers as well that were sponsored to play. And I think, like you said, when everyone's time was up, we swapped. I went and got on an airplane, so I technically couldn't stream anymore. But like Ithalian, he stopped playing.
Do they like the 3 that I was talking about? It was a cascade.
Yeah.
One person ended his stream, switched to another game. I found another person 30 minutes later, they ended their stream and switched to another game. And then the last person just logged off when they were done because they were done for the day. But it was very clear among all of them where it was just kind of like, okay, well, my time's up, so I'm gonna go play what I want to, you know. And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
Like, that is unfortunate.
I think something that's kind of cool to talk about, at least for me. I don't know if you guys find it interesting, but I like to see all the different sponsored streams out there, or sorry, stream games looking to sponsor streams. Try so many different things when it comes to the actual stream. Like I did a stream once where it was like, all right, no matter what, you need to play the game or games that you usually stream on your stream for 2 to 3 hours before you swap over and do sponsored stream for us. And I think that's like one of the smartest things that I've heard of.
They asked you that?
Yeah, yeah, because it's like build up your audience and then swap over and show our game. Instead of go live with our game that maybe not that many people are going to want to watch right off the bat and get a lower viewership because of that.
That's damn smart.
Yeah, it's super fucking smart.
They actually had that in your contract?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it wasn't contractually bound to do that, but it was like, hey, you should do this.
Requested.
Yeah, requested, yeah. Which I think is one of the smartest
That's
things.
super smart. That's what I think every person doing that wishes the caster did.
Yeah.
Because they want to get the most eyes on it as possible. That's interesting. I've never had that asked to me, for example.
Yeah,
and I've done a lot of those types of streams.
Yeah, I think that that type of practice is pretty cool. Because you'll have the effect that like Lawbreakers had. I think most people that stream this, because they wanted us to stream it right when the beta went live Friday morning, streams were going live at, I think, noon Eastern. And so for Pacific, that's like 9 a.m. And so everyone went live and for about 3 hours played the game. And then like primetime US, no one was playing the game on Twitch. So I feel like they kind of lost their potential market to play the game by making it that early on.
Is it Epic Games Launcher that runs that?
No, this is through Nexon. So I think it's just its own thing.
So there's no way we can get stats of active players?
No, I think I played it on Steam. You might be able to get Steam Spy.
Kind of curious about this.
We're looking it up, chat. That's why there's dead air. We apologize. That was in Zeke's
Quick,
part
Zeke.
of the...
Quick, Zeke, tell us jokes.
Yeah, no, this is Zeke's part of the
Entertain
thing he did
chat,
last
quickly.
week.
Don't put me on the fucking spot like this.
Two
Zeke, that
things.
wasn't
Don't have
funny.
dead
Try
air.
again.
And 2, don't put your other people on the spot.
Yeah, that's one of the no. Honestly, I'm not kidding you. One of the things I tried to impart upon the class I was teaching was trust the people you're on stage with.
They'll never feed you to the wolves.
Trust them that they will take over if you start floundering. And here I am like, I have nothing.
The
Don't look at me.
And we're sitting here like,
man, that's a funny thing. That's a funny thing.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah. Give me a location. Give me a location.
Back in the esports days,
Give me
the
an emotion. Give me
the
an emotion.
StarCraft days, we would, when we were at like MLGs and stuff, we would try to make the other person fuck up because it was funny to the entire production crew when we would just start laughing on air. It was terrible in terms of an actual show, but it was fun for us.
There's 60 players online currently.
Really?
60 players of Lawbreakers?
That's rough.
I just looked at the
maybe that's
Twitch.
only on Steam though. Maybe it's one of those things where it like doesn't count the.
No, I looked at Twitch live viewers and it's 18.
That's the people watching on Twitch is 18?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now hold on. It's got to be closed beta, right?
No,
It's
isn't
like-
it out?
No,
out?
Lawbreakers launches next.
Yeah, it's not even launched yet.
It might not be
Oh
live.
wait,
live.
can you even play this now?
I don't know if you can
No.
play it anymore. It might be closed.
Never mind. Okay,
Yeah,
I
the
thought it
game
was
isn't out. The beta is down. Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Never mind.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay. So
can't-
that number means absolutely nothing.
Can't
Okay.
you look at
Sorry
Steam
about
charts
that.
or
Our
whatever
bad.
for last Friday?
That number is meaningless.
Cool,
That's
can't-
probably just like devs and friends playing or something right
No,
now.
I honestly I looked it up and I went, that can't be right.
All right, I'm just gonna do it. Can you look up historical data for it though on Steam charts or no? I thought that's what you were doing for like Friday to see how many people were playing. Lawbreakers.
The thing is though, like there's a part of me that really hopes that this game kind of explodes because I like the team that made it. and I don't know, man. It's just it would be really weird if this turned out to be a flop because there's a lot of big names behind it and a lot of really good, talented people working on it. So
yeah, they've been working on it.
Yeah,
for a
and
long
like
time.
you said, it's not a bad time.
Here's the thing.
It's not too bad.
The things are, it is a well-made game that runs very good. I had no performance issues whatsoever, and it ran perfectly fine. There was no issues from anyone that I could see that was playing it. I just don't know if this type of game can come out in 2017 and be huge. I feel like its time has already passed.
Well, and I'll just say this, guys, just to anybody in the chat. I'll just say this, like, my opinions, like, on these kind of games count for absolute shit. They count for nothing. I do not play these games.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make funny comments.
you say that, Zeke, but you represent the people and the reasons that they don't buy the game. So funny enough, you actually represent a very sizable portion.
That's very true,
and what you're saying is dead accurate. So
Well, yeah, and I will say, like, this game, watching people play Overwatch and watching people play this, I'm trying to figure out what is the difference, because it's going to get compared to Overwatch, no matter what. It's going to happen.
It's going to, yeah.
It has to. Okay.
it already has been.
But I think the reason why maybe, I mean, I know Blizzard is a big reason, but I think there's latch-onable, like the characters within the game are more archetypes and more, I could latch onto them, being someone who doesn't play competitive games a lot. Like I look at any one of the characters. Look at Reaper. I'm like, oh, I know kind of attitude that guy has, you know, and what kind of like feeling he gives you when you play that character. Or Reinhardt, he's the tank, obviously, and he looks like a fucking tank and shit like that. So when you get into it, I get person like me who doesn't care about as much mechanics and stuff gets drawn in by like bright colors and fancy outfits and shit like that.
So on that note, Zeke, and this just speaks really highly to Blizzard's credit for really exercising this part of the game. But how did you feel about all those character animated shorts that like gave you the feeling behind the character and what type
those
of
were
thing
dope
they were?
as hell.
Yeah.
Those shorts were great.
That kind of personality is one of the reasons Overwatch is the top dog right now.
Which
there's people that remember I'll never forget watching that one with Bastion and being like, oh, this guy has dimensions. Like, oh my God.
It kind of sucks.
I don't even play Overwatch. And I watched the Bastion one and was like,
yeah, it kind of sucks because for a new dev team like the one behind Lawbreakers, there's no way you could match the amount of funds that Blizzard is going to throw at a game like Overwatch when it comes, like those animated shorts probably cost a pretty big fraction of what it costs to make this game. Like they're not cheap to do that high quality animation in those 5 or 6 minute shorts at all. So someone in the chat said like something really extreme, like Overwatch killed any chance that a game like this has in the future. I don't know if it's that extreme, but it made it really fucking difficult.
to be honest,
Well, it made it difficult not to be compared to
World
it.
of Warcraft of the genre.
Yeah.
I think what that guy said is honestly that could have hit the nail on the head, where it's going to be the kind of thing where, yeah, there's going to be a lot of hero-based competitive team shooters that are going to come out over the next 10 years, but none of them will probably get as big as Overwatch, just like no MMO got as big as WoW. And it's going to be the kind of thing where Overwatch will stop being a thing when Blizzard wants it to stop being a thing.
Yeah.
They're kind of really good at doing that.
It's like the card game stuff too. Hearthstone's, I think, still the biggest, and everyone's trying to play catch up.
Who's even the second?
How's Elder Scrolls?
Right?
I would maybe just for name value say Elder Scrolls Legends, but they're also a lot newer and they're not very big. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like, Blizzard knows their shit. They
Gwent.
trounce all over everybody every time almost.
Gwent got super quiet the last few months. They kind of had a
Except
whole
for,
bunch of news whirlwind when it released, and then it's been kind of.
I think Hearthstone in general, I think viewership has gone down a tiny bit. They've got an expansion coming out pretty soon though, so that might bump it back up. Another
Oh
interesting
yeah, I
thing.
see like tweets about people like tweeting about new cards and stuff.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is Blizzard is going to do what Blizzard has always done with any game release that they can compete with. They're launching their Summer Games event next Tuesday, the day that Lawbreakers comes out for Overwatch. So like, they're basically going to say, hey, here's some new skins and some shit. Come play our game instead of everyone else's.
And they're probably gonna do that thing they did last time with like the new fun game mode with limited edition. You gotta come play now. You'll never get it again. It's like,
Of course.
They'll probably do
That's
something.
just fucking good. That's good business. It's like, hey, we know this other game is being released, but if you play for these 2 days, you have a chance of getting an exclusive thing that will never be available again.
So here's
Like,
the deal. You're gonna download a client. It's gonna scan your computer. If it doesn't detect Lawbreakers, we're just gonna give you like 5 crates.
Yeah, man, I can't even imagine how frustrating that would be for someone going up against something like that. Like that's you can't even like be mad at that. You just kind of have to go like, well, of course they're doing that. Fuck, let's move on. Like I feel like if you get mad, you're actually wasting your own resources.
Kind of spinning your own wheels, and no one's really watching.
Yeah. God, that's just shitty. That's just, it sucks. It's smart business. It's a smart
I
play.
like how Sony is like, do not give them ideas.
I don't have to. I think they have all the ideas already.
have you signed like, you remember back in like high school where they had you sign like the promise pledge for the ball? It's like, I pledge to never play Lawbreakers, Blizzard.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
the sad pledge that you had to make.
And Blizzard is going to send you a little ring with the Overwatch emblem on it.
A fucking Overwatch purity ring.
Oh my God. It's too much.
So you notice each other at cons like, yeah, me too. Yeah.
It's one of those Razer Chroma rings that they put out, you know? It's USB powered. So that was my experience with Lawbreakers. I hope it does well because I think competition's a good thing. Especially with Blizzard going against it, they're going to have a rough launch, I think. I think this is one of those games that you can really look at in like 3 months or 6 months and see what they're doing to know kind of where the game's at, for sure.
So I just want to know, because someone put in chat, it's nothing like Overwatch. Since you played it most recently, JP, what would you say?
I think it is more... I have to be very careful with what I say here. Only because people will be fucking crazy. I think it has a higher skill cap than Overwatch, but that is to its own detriment.
Okay.
Like Overwatch got
just taking a fire to that tar barrel.
I know. But there's so much stuff to do.
Mobility.
Yeah.
The mobility of it is far greater.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. It is way, like, the skill gap is fucking absurdly high. Or the skill ceiling is absurdly high. And then you look at Overwatch and it doesn't, but that's why, you know, fucking so many people can download Overwatch and be like, I can hit left click and kill people. And that's probably why it's going to be more successful in the long run.
I got to admit, man, with a system like that, I hope they have some serious matchmaking shit behind, or you are going to have newbies furious at people just curb stomping them all day long.
Totally.
Like, ooh.
Well, that was funny. Rough. We were playing with Siegel, and even Siegel himself was saying, like, God, these guys are so fucking good. And then, like, 3 rounds after that, Siegel did what Siegel does and got really good at the game very, very quickly and was hitting, like, fucking air rockets and knocking people out in the middle of the air and all this crazy shit. So, like, oh, yeah, this game's pretty good. Because he was just demolishing people. And so I think, like you said, Go, they better have something in place to match noobs with noobs or they're going to get fucking destroyed.
So outside of that, though, the skill cap, would you say that what Zeke read was accurate? Are they different enough to be like different genres, or are they similar enough to be like, this is 90% the same game?
I mean, I guess the way I'll answer that is the game could be different. It could be night and day from Overwatch. It's only going to get compared to Overwatch, no matter what the fuck you say about it at all. Is it that close? Like, heroes have ultimates. They have abilities. That everyone's got a different gun. It's 5v5. There's different types of rule sets. Not any really too similar to Overwatch stuff. And the movement adds in something that is not in Overwatch whatsoever. Like the only thing I can liken it to is like, I can't. I was gonna say Lucio's type of movement, but it's not even close. It's literally just like fucking low grab flying. and you can like
the gravity mechanic, right?
Yeah. You can shoot behind you if you have like I was playing the Titan guy who has a rocket launcher. You can shoot the rockets behind you, and if you're in low grav, you go flying through low grav. And you can do that with any gun. So if someone's behind you, you could just start spraying behind you as you're taking a corner or something like that. So I think the people that are at the top of this game are going to be very fucking good. And it's going to be a really bad time for anyone that plays them. So I think I hope I answered your question. I kind of.
It sounds like competitive matches could be awesome to watch, though.
Yeah, I had fun playing the 5v5 matches that we did for sure. There was no doubt, like working together with a team, but that's because it's the old thing. Like anytime you're going to work together with a team, you're going to have fun no matter what the fucking game is. You can go outside with a ball and try to hit each other and make a team and game around that, and you're probably going to have fun as well. So yeah.
I actually played that game growing up.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I had a game like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys ever
I
have
was the only one getting hit. It was weird.
What is that thing?
It was just chase Zeke around and hit him.
What was that game
I didn't like
called?
The game very much.
Or that where you had a pole and you would tie a ball to it with a string and then hit it around. Do you guys remember that game?
Tetherball.
Was that tetherball?
Tetherball, baby.
Tetherball.
We never actually learned.
Champ at tetherball.
We never actually learned how to play the game. We would just go, "Hey, stand there," and then try to hit it as fucking hard as we could, so it hit the other guy on the other side. We never actually learned how to play the game.
Oh, it's easy. Just wrap it around the pole. As soon as it gets wrapped around the pole, if it's going your way, because you both go one way or you both go opposite ways.
Oh.
You go because most people are righties. So no, you go this way. So you can hit the ball like this, like a baseball swing.
Right.
Hit the ball so clockwise.
That makes sense.
And if you get around clockwise on your side, you win.
I never knew it had rules. I just thought it was to hit the other person.
I was left-handed, so I had fun with it.
Oh wait, no, it would go the other way.
There's all sorts of things you could do. Like you could if you caught it by a certain way, you could throw it with the string, make it go quicker. You could also you get that perfect angle where it goes above their side. You know what I'm talking about, Zeke. Oh yeah, that game was fun.
You hit it down, so we go.
Yep.
And sail up over their heads. It was especially good because I was an early tall kid in my class, so it was nice. Yeah, everyone caught up, but I was early. I was an early spurt. I had growing pains a lot as a kid.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
I won't bring up tetherball again. You guys knew a lot about tetherball. I'm glad we talked about that.
Dude, that was my jam. That was my first competitive shit in elementary school, where it actually meant something if you were the tetherball champ. It meant something. It was like, don't fucking play Zeke in tetherball. He'll fucking murder you. And I was like, fuck yeah, I will.
I'm trying to think. I think we just played basketball. And I was like 6 foot by the time I was like 13 or 14. I was super fucking tall. And so I didn't play basketball. I just kind of stood around the net and went like this. And just dominated on people, which is fun. Let's jump games though. Talk about another game that came out. I think it's early. Dark and Light is early access, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Zeke and Co both played this.
It fucking better be early access.
I have watched.
Yes, queen.
I've watched some stuff about this, but it just looks like Lord of the Rings arc. Tell me why I'm wrong, Zeke, or why I'm right. I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah?
I can't. I see. Here's the thing. I can only tell you my experience. I can't tell you that anybody else. I can't be subjective about this.
Mm-hmm.
The game it's a hunter-gatherer, builder, crafting recipes, survival game. It's I played it for I think 6 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't invest the time it took to get to the cool taming and that kind of shit because these games are not for me at all.
But
they take far too much patience.
6 hours though. What kept your interest?
Did I mean objective? I meant
I'm wondering that
objective.
too. This seems like a really long time for you in games like this.
Yeah.
Well,
6
What do you
hours.
do for 6 hours?
I wanted to like it. I want to like these games because everyone seems to love these fucking games.
No,
Everyone
not me.
seems to love these games where you can you knock down trees and you get wood and grass and you build a fucking thing and then you make a wall and then you make another wall and you build a house out of it. I got like my stupid little like 2-story outhouse built and I was like, I'm fucking done. I did it. I got my house. I want there to be more of a point, I think. I want there to be more of less of just open world exploring sandbox stuff and more of like save the fucking princess or something like that. You know, there's nothing like that in these games. Like you can make your own adventures, which I am terrible at for some reason.
I will say, and maybe Co can back me up or deny this. I feel like these games you have to play with other people, or
that's what everyone said too.
Yeah,
they're like, if you play this, it will be a lot better, and I assume it would be because everything. But that's you can say that about everything. You can say that about anything. Play with anybody and to make everything better.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like taking some fucking weird moral stance or if I just generally hate these games, but I played my 10 hours of Ark, and I feel like I have not missed a single thing by not playing games like this that we're watching, because I feel like they're all the fucking same except for the small little things inside. And I'm hoping that maybe Co tells me I'm wrong, or he doesn't, and that's just, I know that about me now. So, but it sounds like Zeke, you played it for 6 hours. You kind of did what it had to do, and that was it.
Yeah, and I was consistently telling people like, don't bother, just go watch Bike Man. Go watch Bike Man play this because it's gonna be fucking terrible and boring watching me play this. It's boring to watch me because I am bored playing it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the reason why I gave it so much time. It's also because it's early access, so there were lots of cool bugs and like funny shit that just happened because it's not. I'm surprised they even released it to the public because it's fucking like it's really really buggy.
See, here's the other thing that I feel like happens with these games is someone in chat will be like, "Oh man, this shit's coming for this game," and then people are like, "Oh, that's fucking sick," and then they play it now when none of that shit's in the game, and then by the time it comes out, they've already played it to death and won't go back and revisit it.
Which is funny enough, like what happened with the Darkest Dungeon for a lot of people, including myself.
Yeah. So, Co, I think on the flip side, you probably enjoyed this, whereas Zeke didn't necessarily enjoy it. Is that accurate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I have 30 hours in this right now. I'm on a community server with enhanced like gathering, taming, crafting, like all that stuff. I am having an absolute blast with it. And basically what happened was this game came out called Citadel, which we can talk about a little bit later. And I played Citadel a lot and I really enjoyed it. And while that was coming out, there was this other game called Dark and Light. And I'd heard about Dark and Light back in the day, but I never really thought about it. I thought it had been canceled, actually. So over the last month, when people had been asking me, like, hey, are you going to play Dark and Light? Are you going to play Dark and Light? I thought they were talking about some dead MMO, and I kept telling people, no, I'm not going to. And then my friend Bikeman was playing Citadel, and he was like, yeah, you got to check this out. You'd love it. And I said, sure. And I played with him for like 2 days straight. And we did a dev stream together. It was awesome. And in the dev stream after it, I'm chatting with him in comms, and he's like, yeah, you got to check out Dark and Light. And I was like, you checked out Dark and Light. You said it wasn't that good. And he's like, yeah, but I'm starting to kind of see how deep it is, how it's different from other games. So I was like, I'm doing this thing in Citadel. Maybe I'll finish that up and then I'll check out Dark and Light. So I ended up not even finishing my thing in Citadel before I jumped over to Dark and Light. And here we go. So Dark and Light is 70% Ark. And there's a reason for that. They license the engine, essentially. So there's a lot of things that are similar. There's a lot of things that are copy-paste, like the irrigation system and stuff like that. Not only that, let's keep talking about some of the stuff that's not so great. It's very buggy. Melee combat can get to the point where it doesn't work. In fact, you'll be swinging a sword. You'll see blood splurt off the enemy. They won't take any damage. But they'll be doing damage to you the whole time. It's infuriating. I almost rage quit the game because of it. Not only that, but there are significant lag issues. There are, like today, I spent almost an hour training a panther, finally get a saddle on it. I'm running at max speed through this little NPC village. My dude gets literally implanted in the side of a fence. I can't move. 3 things come, kill my pet, kill me, my corpse poofs, total mess. All right, so the game is super buggy, and there's a lot of similarities to Ark. Okay. On the flip side, there are some things being done in this game that are brand new to the survival genre, in a really awesome way. I think the fact that this game started as an MMO really, really benefited it. And the reason why is because the map in this game is probably the best map I've seen in any game. I mean, it's extremely well developed. It's lush. It's got NPC towns. It has tons of unique places, giant crash ships, floating islands in the middle of nowhere, volcanoes, all sorts of altars that no one knows what they do, raid zone entrances that if you try to fly into, it tells you you're not powerful enough. It has a huge amount of enemies, all which have their own bestiary entry with their own lore thing. Items, every item has a lore description on them. And most importantly, the thing that really kind of sold this game to me is the way that you level up is not just get random experience point, get skill points, and develop them. You actually level them up in a hybrid leveling skill-based system where every skill has an associated few things that you can do in the game world to raise that skill. And then if you're the proper level, if you go and do those things, then you'll level that skill up. You'll get new blueprints, new skills, new spells. Throw in the spellcasting system, which I like, but is still unfinished. Also, the taming system in this one is a little bit easier to use and stuff. I actually have a lot of fun in this game, and I have a lot left to do in it. It's cool just exploring around and doing things. It's fun seeing all the stuff that's in the game. There's still 30 things that I haven't even, or probably more like 20 things that I haven't even seen yet, and I played it for 30 hours. There's giant boss mobs that we don't know how to summon. There's like all sorts of little secrets that the devs don't tell you that you have to figure out on your own. There's hidden combos for weapons. Weapons have combos, and you have to jump, hold right click for 2 seconds, and then release right click to enable a combo that you can never get to otherwise. People just found that out. So what's kind of interesting about this game is it's super buggy, it's super unfinished, but there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's just stuff everywhere. It's almost got a content overload of like little hidden things and little things. And I think a lot of that is because, again, it started as an MMO and got canceled. And then they just took all that stuff and jammed it into an Ark framework. So all these little things just kind of got carried over. And yeah, I've been loving it. The only thing is, though, is I feel to this game like I think Sacriel feels to DayZ, where it's like you get to the point where for it to be enjoyable, you need to not only know the bugs, but how to get around them. Sure. And I say that seriously. Like, I've given up on melee combat. The only melee combat I use now is a spear, and that's because the right click of it auto targets the enemy based on where they are on the server, not where they are on my screen. So I can actually right click and kill enemies in melee only using the heavy attack of this certain weapon. And then spells and bows, funny enough, are perfect. They're totally perfect. Like, if you ever aim a spell or a bow at something, it will definitely hit them 100% of the time. So once you kind of like get the bugs down and know how to get around them, and you can actually like explore the world without dying every 30 minutes and having to restart everything, then it becomes a lot more enjoyable. And like, I'm actually doing the Long Dark tomorrow because I really want to check that out. But if Long Dark hadn't come out, I'd probably play this for another 2 or 3 days, 6+ hours a day.
How big is the actual world? Like, if you're on this thing, how long does it take to go from side to side, basically? Do you have any idea?
This is pretty fast. Like, a flying mount in this game, oh, PTSD here. Yeah. Anyway, it takes a while. Okay. It takes a while. The flying mounts are pretty fast. It would probably.
Oh, you're gonna want to attune with that aetherite crystal so you can come back to that point.
Do what? Oh.
You want to attune with that aetherite crystal so you can come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, where did that guy come? The big guy come from?
That's a Yeti. I have yet to kill one of those, and they're really fast and they jump.
Wow. Oh, this is the map right here. This full map. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's no in-game map. You have to actually craft a spell, and then what it does is it puts an overlay of the map in front of you in the game world. So then you have to like the only time you ever see the map is when you die, like this.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Also, something else kind of interesting. When you start the game, there is a giant map. And that map you just saw is the top 10 to 15% of that map. They have a huge amount that they have not released yet. So you're actually going to be able to like choose worlds to play in, and then once you pick your world, then you then have your little survival sandbox.
What is this vote this man stuff? What is that?
There's a whole lord system. I'm the lord on my server. I don't know what it does yet, but apparently you can arrest people and put them in public cages, and you can set like when the gates for the NPC cities opens and close, all sorts of things. I haven't even looked into that yet. That's something I haven't had time to look into.
I feel like everything you just said is I'm like it sounds great. I just don't want to be the beta tester or the alpha tester for it in this
Dude,
case.
I totally understand you. And like there has been multiple times in this game where I have died due to bugs and just sat there in silence for up to a full minute of me just staring at the screen, just like.
Have you seen the people that play this? Are these the people that played Ark as well? Like, is it a nomadic gaming community that jumps from game to game like this, or do they kind of stick to their own games? Do you know?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, it's Ark," and then I've heard a lot of people go, "Oh, it's Ark."
Right.
So it's kind of like it really kind of depends on.
Yeah.
What's even funnier is it's like the more time you've spent in Ark, the more that you're like, "Oh, Ark is better than this game." So it becomes this weird like. You don't appreciate it because it's based on the game you like. It becomes the competitor, but it's not really. So, and also this came out right when Citadel did, and Citadel is more polished, and Citadel has a better building system. Like there's a lot of things that Citadel has over Dark and Light, and they came out kind of like around the same time. So there's like a Citadel versus Dark of Light thing going on. Yeah, it's a little confusing right now. You've got the Ark diehards, you've got the DNL diehards, you've got the Citadel people that argue with the DNL people. You have so many people, and this is the thing that earlier someone was joking about triggering bikemen with this stuff. I get it all the time too. I just ignore it, but sometimes it's hard to. Incessantly asking, which one do I buy, Citadel or Dark Knight? Citadel or Dark Knight? Which one do I buy?
This is Citadel, by the way, everyone.
And the problem is they're both really damn good games. So it's like I would never tell someone to buy one over the other. Every time I actually answer that question, I just tell them the pros and cons of each, and I'm like, make your own decision. But yeah, so that's kind of where Dark and Light is, and I'm looking forward to seeing it progress. The devs have been super cool. The devs of Dark and Light have dropped in my stream a few times, gave us a bunch of keys to give away, and they also gave me a little hint at the roadmap. The thing that they're trying to fix right now, like more than anything, they realize that the server desync is a huge issue. The server desync causes the pet bugs. The server desync causes the melee combat issues. Like there is a major desync issue in Dark and Light, and it's foundational based. It's not something they can just fix. Apparently, according to what they told me, there's like a team working on this right now to fix this problem. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some big changes soon because frankly, the game could really benefit it for the general audience. For sure. There's not going to be a huge amount of people like me that can kind of just push that to the side and enjoy the rest of it. They're going to get to that point. They're going to die a few times and be like, this game is pretty dumb.
Right.
Like I almost did.
Is Citadel first person only?
Citadel is not first person only. So moving on to Citadel.
Yeah, let's talk Citadel while I have that up.
Citadel is very similar, but also very different in a lot of key ways. The skill system is just straight up earn XP and spend skill points. The building system, a lot better. It's much more intuitive. One of the better building systems in any game like this, actually. The flying on brooms and stuff is awesome. Really cool feature. And it's very polished. It runs well, and there's not a huge amount of bugs. There's not a lot of content. It's still very much in development in terms of a content standpoint, but it definitely feels like more of a complete game. That being said, the last day that I played Citadel, I got on my broom, I spent an hour or two prepping, and then I flew around the entire map. And there's fast travel points at Citadel where you can get to a tower and you can use it and unlock it. I went around the entire map. I unlocked every fast travel thing. And completely opposite of Dark and Light, there was like nothing that I wanted to go and look at in the Citadel map. There was no big interesting thing. I literally did a 360 pan on the very top of the map on my broom around the entire map. And there was not a single thing in the Citadel map that I was like, I want to go see what that is. There were a few cool things, like when I flew over them the first time I looked at, like there was a volcano with some cool caves and stuff like that. But playing Dark and Light and like looking around the map and be like, look at those floating islands and that giant obelisk and that set of statues and that huge tree and that volcano and those meteors. And like in Dark and Light, it's like an overload, where in Citadel, it's just kind of like, I don't really want to, like, there's not, it felt kind of like Rust, where it's like the world is pretty big and there's a lot of things in it, but there's not a lot of like things I really want to go and look at or do or stuff like that. So
That makes sense.
yeah. It's still a good game though, and the big thing with Citadel, the devs also of this game are super cool. Me and Bikeman actually, I just tagged along, but Bikeman had a chance to interview some of the devs of Citadel. They came in and we talked about it for a while. They have some really big plans for this game, and to their credit, what's really nice is they don't necessarily have to focus so much on the bugs and stuff. Right now, they're focusing on the content. So they already have some big plans for endgame stuff that they're wanting to implement early to kind of bring that longevity in. Before it becomes like a huge issue. So that's good. And hopefully they'll be able to get that in before, people play it and just like you said, get tired of it and move on to something else.
Yeah, I have a question. This probably sounds kind of harsh. How much of these games is streamers playing it and people buying it because they're playing it rather than the games just actually being good in the first place?
I think Zeke kind of nailed that question with something he said earlier. And it's the whole having fun thing. I personally am a builder. Right. I love having all these tools in front of me in a virtual world and being able to put something together that is fun or interesting or cool or that I've never done before. And I have fun doing that. So because I have fun doing that, I also have fun going out and standing in front of a tree and using draw essence on it for
Right.
20 minutes at a time, because I'll sit there and talk to chat about what I'm going to build and stuff like that. People see me having fun and they go, the game must be fun. So I'm going to spend money on the game. And that's one of the reasons that when I play these types of games, I try to every so often be like, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun because of this, this, and this. Like I try to kind of make a point as to what I'm enjoying. So that way it's not like a, like a big kind of, whoa, why am I not having fun playing this kind of moment for the people? But there's no question that a lot of times people will buy the game because of the emotion the streamer is eliciting and not necessarily what's on the game screen at that time.
That's true. I mean, that's what being an
and I think that has
influencer
a lot
is.
to, and with games like this, I think that these are kind of like a very good point to that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I get flustered trying to play these games because I try and play them and I feel like I don't have a direction. I feel like I am being pulled in a million different directions at once.
Right.
Whereas when I'm playing a game that has, a path to follow or many paths to follow, I can choose one thing and go towards it. Whereas this, like, you could do this, or then you could do this, but then you want to do this first, and then you want to, and it just becomes too much for me. And all I end up doing is chopping down trees and gathering up like 400 stacks of wood with nothing to do with them.
I think that's where playing with other people comes into play, where you can deviate or divvy up rather, who's going to do what. I mean, that's what I did in Ark, right? It was like, I'm going to go tame this bird.
And you have to make your own path.
Right.
Fuck that. I don't want to. I want the game to have a path for me. I want there to be a point. I want there to be like a story,
Which makes sense, yeah.
Dude, that is one of the most important things in games. And what you're talking about, Zeke, is goals.
Yeah.
You want goals. You want a carrot on a stick in front of you that leads you through the boring stuff to the stuff you want to get to. It's the exact same shit with MMOs. If you can't get invested on where you're going with your MMO character or where you want to go, then the leveling and shit is boring as hell. But then again, you'll take 50 feathers to that little goblin merchant. If you know that in 50 levels you're going to be raiding with your buddies, or you want to join the guild or see the end game content, all that stuff that isn't that fun becomes fun. Because you have a place you're going to. You're on a journey to a destination.
No, I don't. No, wait, hold on. Let me answer the chat here, because people are saying I want my hand held. I want to be spoon fed. I want all this shit.
No.
Listen. This doesn't strike me as a fucking game. Ark and these survival games don't strike me as games. There's no point there. You're not moving towards something. You can make up your own content, and trust me, I'm good at that. I've played Dungeons and Dragons for many years. I make up my own shit. It's okay. I can do that. When I'm playing a video game, though, I want there to be a path. I want there to be a quest. I want there to be a story How about like some writers and stuff? That would be great.
Right.
Like
These games,
sandboxes.
like I am not a builder. I'm not a builder. I don't want to build my own shit. I want to discover shit, and I want there to be, people that are not real. How about that? I want fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't want real people who are controlling these other people.
So here we go, Zeke. What you should do today, a game came out that is very much like these games, but it added a story mode with voice actors, William Hader's in it from Metal Gear Solid. Like it's an actual story. It's called
David
The
Hayter.
Long
David
Dark. David Hayter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd love for you to play that and let me know if you feel the same way. Like I wonder if a game like this with a story like The Long Dark would be enough to kick it over for you, or if you just play it and you're like, I still don't like this. Like I just don't like the genre.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Interesting to see.
I'm willing to change my mind about these. That's why I played it for as long as I did, because I want my mind to be changed about these games. I really do. I want to see the fun in them.
Yeah.
And it's probably, and I would admit, it's probably due to the loneliness I felt, like like just being out there and, hey, I built a shack.
Right.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Well, I guess I'll go cut some more grass.
I didn't think about it because we did a DFG last week instead of a show. I played Fortnite, and I think Co did as well. I'm not sure if Zeke did, but I feel like Fortnite fits into this conversation as well. Like, I feel like you were talking about how Dark and Light is an MMO asset-filled game. I feel like Fortnite is a mobile game, asset-filled game. They turned into like a full game where potentially the majority of that game is just sitting in menus and adding different things to so many different menus. And I got tired of that after about a day of playing. It just didn't. It had goals like you were saying, Zeke. It actually had a very defined like goal list to do. I just didn't find it very fun. I just think it's interesting. Those three games came out within 3 weeks of each other, 2 weeks of each other, or something like that. But I was just not a fan of Fortnite at all. And this one's also been in development for 3 years or something like that. I feel like they've been trying to figure out what the fuck this game is after 3 years. Because it did not have any sense of that at all. And I was told that you need to get to the higher levels to start to understand that. But that's like 50 plus hours of playtime from what I was told as well. Did you check this game out, Co? Did you play any Fortnite?
I did. I spent 2 sessions in Fortnite. And I wasn't really excited about this game. And then I saw the massive skill trees and all the stuff we saw at E3. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give this game another try. And I think I got the $150 pack. I got I got all the stuff for it. I got all ready for it. I was pumped. And I was actually really enjoying it for about the first 2 hours. I thought that the game was interesting. I thought exploring the little town and getting a bunch of loot and crafting weapons and stuff. All that was pretty fun. And then I did my first zombie wave event. And I did my second and my third, my fourth and my fifth and my sixth and my seventh, eighth, ninth.
Yep. I played probably 13, 14 hours of this game. Same exact thing.
The issue is that I liked the concept. I liked the building. I liked the dungeon defender, orcs must die kind of vibe to it. But the zombie killing part of it, I just zoned out.
It was really bad.
I wasn't having fun
No,
at all.
I agree totally.
And they kept introducing new zombie types, and I was just kind of like, oh, so I have to shoot this one in the head. Okay. Oh, I have to shoot that one in the head again. Okay. Yep. And the thing is, and I really didn't like it. And here's the thing. A lot of people said, well, Co, that's because you're at the beginning. That's
Right.
because you haven't gotten to the interesting stuff yet. And I said, well, here's the thing. I don't care enough to do all that uninteresting stuff to
Right.
get to the thing that might be interesting to me.
Right.
Like I'm not even like
Now hold on. You just said something. You said a mouthful. We are of the same mind. Your threshold is just a bit longer than mine is.
pretty much. The issue is that they tried to put a carrot on the stick, but it was like a moldy old
Yeah, it's like a
carrot,
rotten
and I was just
carrot.
kind of like, Yeah, like I didn't even know if I wanted to put that much in. And here's the thing: the people that I talked to about that had spent 50 hours in it and that were enjoying it were like, yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really get that much different.
It
And it's
just
kind of
gets
like,
more. It just gets more
yeah,
of
and I just
everything.
like
Is how I've heard it
But
described.
now to the game's credit, let's talk about the positives. There is a huge variety of weapons. The skill trees weren't nearly as differentiated as I was hoping. A lot of the skill trees are just generic you gain in power nodes, which are
And
dumb. There's no decision or anything with that. But what I will say is I still have, like, some of my mods still play it. They say the game is a lot of fun with other people, especially when you start coordinating,
Yeah.
you start specializing, like you do this line, you do that line. You start bringing in, like, you really dive into the companion system and you train up certain companions to do certain things, and you're slotting people in your home base. Like, if you want to put the time into this and you don't mind or even like the zombie killing and all that stuff, there is a pretty deep game here. It's a little mobily at times, especially with the pinatas and the randomized
Very
RNG
mobily
stuff. A little mobily. But to its credit, again, like, there are people that have spent hundreds of hours in this game and still have stuff to do. So I think this is one of those games where there's a line between, like, too mobily and, an actual game. And I kind of feel like it's actually a little too far to the mobile side, in terms of just, like, the repetitive gameplay, the kind of more menu-based stuff that you're going to do. I don't know. It's kind of a unique beast in that regard. There's not a lot of things out like Fortnite.
Did you just lock someone in jail? Oh.
This is
I
JP.
tried to. I was trying to create my own fun because I wasn't having that much fun. Yeah,
What, you need your handheld?
yeah, exactly.
Come
I
on.
need my handheld.
But dude, I got to admit, like, when the last time I played this game, it was a sponsored stream moment. Even though I never got sponsored to play it again, I was one of the people that turned all these down too.
Yeah, I didn't.
But like, right when I was done with the last one, it was one of those moments where it's just like, okay, that's Fortnite. Cool. I'm gonna go play Citadel. Like, and I don't know if I'll return. But yeah, so that was Fortnite.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about it? Like, JP, what about you, man? Like, are you ever gonna go back to it?
Probably not, which is saddening only because I spent $250 in it, $100 to play, then bought the $150 pack just because I want to see what it was. And I felt like a lot of people said that the reason that everything was so easy is because I grabbed those packs and it gave me, like, better weapons and everything. And so
I got that too.
Yeah, the fights were just like you said, just like point and shoot. To go back to what you said about the skill stuff, I feel like the quests are, at least in the skill chains are broken up into skill trees are broken up into 4 different skill trees in the game. And from what I could tell, the main quest kind of had you doing the entire first skill tree. And so there really wasn't, like how you were talking about, deviation or people playing roles until I got to, like, the second or third one, it felt.
Dude, someone mentioned this in chat. The tutorial is basically like the first 15 hours of the game.
That's what, yeah,
Like,
I agree. I agree, totally. The fun part of the game for me was going and finding chests and houses. But
Did you use one of the looter guys?
I didn't. I was, I think Shorty was playing that. I was playing the ninja, then I played the soldier. But the thing that happened with that is I did that for maybe about 45 minutes, and the things that I was getting in the chest it was nothing. I wasn't, like, getting cool items. I was getting, like, hey, you got a fucking green gun, but I have orange guns. I don't give a fuck about this green gun. I have a gun that does, like, 1 billion times more of everything compared to this fucking thing. So why would I even bother to seek this shit out when probably the best thing for me to do to keep interest in the game would be just to grind my way through to the end game for 40 or 50 plus hours. And I was hoping, someone I think had it best in chat. They said that the pacing of the game was completely fucking awful. And I really agree with that statement, because what you're seeing here didn't change for the 15 hours I played it. I was doing the same exact fucking things I'm doing right now. And the difficulty never got higher. It never got easier. It was just kind of like, hey, like you said, Co, here's some different guys that you got to maybe shoot in the head. And then we're just going to keep introducing that. And it never got there was never a sense of death, difficulty, struggle. It was just like point your mouse over there and kill that thing and move on because you're going to be doing this for a very long time.
And honestly, also, during my stream, a lot of people kept telling me very similar to what you just said. Like, oh, Ko, you opened a bunch of llamas. You're using an orange guy with an orange gun. Of course, this is going to be easy to you.
Right.
And all I would do is look back at them and be like, I don't know if I'd have more fun if it was more difficult.
Yeah,
like just
maybe.
because it's easy doesn't mean that it doesn't mean I'm going to have more fun if it's harder. Even if I'm more invested, or if I'm having to focus more, then I'm just having more focused unfun. Like that doesn't more difficulty doesn't mean it's going to be more enjoyable. It's still just pick a side and shoot everything you see coming from that side.
By the way, I just want a point of order. Unfun is a trademark of CohhCarnage Industries. CohhCarnage, unfun, trademark.
Unfun.
There you go.
Thank you, Zeke. I appreciate that.
I like it.
My lawyer will get with you after the show.
Got to cover our bases legally.
The other thing, and Ko, I don't know if you experienced this, but in the, I don't know, 15 hours, I think it's around 15 hours that I played, we only unlocked like 4 or 5 mission types, and then those are the only missions that we played for those entire 15 hours, 13 hours, however many hours it was.
And apparently there doesn't get to be a whole lot more. Dude, not only that, I got to a point where I had to repeat a mission in the first 10 hours because I didn't spend my skill point properly.
That happened to me in the first hour. Like
it's just like, really? Like, yeah, that really rubbed me the wrong way.
We did this fucking defend the Atlas mission 30 fucking times.
Yeah. Well, like for me, I was like mid rant about how I want more variety from the game as I discover that I have to repeat a mission I just did. I was just like, is this a joke?
Right,
like,
because
is this karmic justice? What's going on here?
Because the quests are like, do something in like a level 5 or whatever the fuck the thing is. Like, do something in a level 5 area, or complete a level 5 quest, or go rescue survivors in a level 5 or higher mission. And so it doesn't like, I don't know. It doesn't say go to X mission and complete it. It's go do this mission again with a slightly little different thing inside of said mission. And I feel like that was Fortnite.
It was, there's a mission to progress the game where it says you have to assign a defender in a defender slot. And there's a little skill tree that goes up to it, and you obviously have the next one. Well, the tree splits. So I spent both my points in those.
Yeah.
and then it's like, drop your point in here. And I was like, what point?
Yep.
Like, what point? I just spent all my points. Huh? and it was,
yeah. I don't know. I think this game has potential, but I feel like they really got to work on making, like, after I put a trap on a wall for the first time to see what it was, there was zero reason to ever build a wall or put a trap anywhere because I could just shoot the fucking things. Like, Waffle would build like basically like a wall or an area for them to like path into. I forget the stupid term of it, from like
funnel them?
Yeah, like a funneling. There's like a term for that that I'm just blanking on for some reason. And I'd be like, it's pointless. Like, just fucking shoot the guys. Let's move on with the mission, because you building that is actually making this take longer than it should. So I don't know. Worst $250 ever spent? No, not at all.
The framework, though, is cool.
Worse.
Like, the framework in the world is cool. Like, this game could very easily get very interesting if they implemented a bunch of new game modes in an expansion. Like, imagine a 5-on-5 TDM using your characters, or a seek and destroy type thing where you start in a town and there's a certain zombie somewhere in there and you have only X amount of time to find it. Or, different types of defend missions where you have to defend multiple points on different sides of the map. How are you going to deal with that? Or a tower defense style thing where you can set up little, like, they have the very cool pieces of the puzzle right here. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be an issue. Like, are you going to make something that's interesting and fun with it outside of like the standard defend from this direction kind of thing?
Yep. Zeke, you don't have any plans on playing Fortnite, right? You're not into it?
Probably not.
Okay. I didn't think so.
Multiple defense is already in the game. Okay, cool. Sorry, Zeke. I mean, interrupted you.
No, that's right. I don't know. It's another one of those games where it looks cool and it's just not for me. Yeah. Probably. I'd imagine. I've been watching you play for the last 10 minutes and I'm like, I don't see anything in there that really grabs me.
I should really show you the menu system just so you can kind of see. Like, I don't. The other thing I think is it does one of the worst jobs I can think of in recent memory. The first 30 minutes of this game, you are just bombarded with so much fucking just visual confetti occurring in your face from menu after menu, from clicking on this thing to try and understand what the fuck all this shit.
That was one of the most mobile parts of it for me. I seriously felt like I was being coddled like a child.
Yeah.
Like explosions, loot, presents, llamas, swords. Oh
ridiculous.
God! And I'm just sitting there like, can I play the game?
Wait, you're starting to sell me on it. Hold on.
Bright lights, colors.
Tell me more about these explosions and llamas and shit.
It's ridiculous.
I'm in.
Fortnite.com.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. Here are your llamas, Zeke. Here's me opening some llamas. Oh wait, no, this is after a mission. I got like 300 different things for these quests. And then it just gave me things that I had no idea what the fuck any of this is. And that was kind of what happened at the beginning of the game. But I think a lot of that was probably because I bought the bigger editions or whatever, and it doesn't introduce things to you in a way that understands, or a way that you can understand what you're getting. You're just like, hey, I got Base Kyle and Fleetfoot Kenny and Assassin Sarah and a Copper Breacher and some more guns and some trap. This is a purple gun. Here's some green. Here's some daily rewards. Like, just not. You can see my face right there. I'm just completely fucking confounded as to all this shit that I'm getting and seeing for the first time, because it's way too much. And then there's another edition.
Oh, you get super deluxe edition rewards.
Yeah, you're just getting more, just nonstop. I got the founders chat, which actually was just a chat where people bitch more and feel more entitled. It's all that is. Because they paid for it. I got Jill, the Epic Games wearing thing, and Idris, who I thought was in Hollywood, not in the game. I don't know. It's
like Idris Elba?
Yeah, his name is Idris. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Someone said in the chat earlier that Pocket's in the game. Is that true?
They might be referring to the main character. I thought it was more Anne.
Oh, they're not really in the game.
Yeah.
It just looks like okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's not out of the realm of possibilities that one of the, like a streamer would be in a game.
Yeah. And then I got to this Code. Did you get to do this where you got to choose your bundle at the beginning?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you have any idea what you were choosing here?
No clue. But I saw the third one was like, this is a looter. And I was like, done.
Yeah. I saw the ninja and I was like, man, that's a pretty cool ninja. And the reason that I spent another $150 more is because you get all of these at once. And so you're not just getting like one class worth of loot, you're getting all the classes worth of loot. That's why I did that. But anyways, that's Fortnite. I think it's time for a break. That's too much early access for my brain. I got to go decompress and think of complete games and what that world must be like.
Oh, I have a few complete games to show you.
Is that so?
No.
I'm worried.
Is this when you pull down your pants?
What?
There is some nudity.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. All right. Let's take a break.
Hey, if that's not a teaser for everyone to stick around, nudity.
Nudity. Ooh.
Stick around.
Is that in Dream? Is there nudity in Dream Daddy? We need to talk about that as well.
No. Oh, did we talk about that?
No, we haven't.
We didn't talk about that.
You got to talk about Dream
I
Daddy.
forgot. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about that because I played that the one day in between, like San Diego Comic-Con, back home for one day, one stream, and then off again, and that's what I played on my one day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of stuff coming up in the indie world that Zeke will talk about, so we'll be right back, and we'll do just that. We'll see you guys in just a bit. More Draft Frames right after this. We'll see you then.